Where I am now, better than before, through those open doors. Where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a tender warm embrace. Where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, Where I Am Now. And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Everett's page on Facebook or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live right here in WGPL 1350 studio. And if you want to hear us all over the globe, all you have to do is go to WGPL 1350 AM or ChristianBroadcastingCompany.com or WPCE 1400 AM. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. What you say, in the whole wide world?
In the whole wide world.
Mr. E, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
And Peace 95.3 and WPCE 1400.
Facebook Live on and popping. Chris Hinton says, what's the gossip?
Wow.
Good morning, Chris. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on Facebook. We'll shout you out. But we also want to welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We want to hear from you all, too. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll shout you out.
Shout you out on all those networks?
Every single one of them.
Wow. Make sure you do it.
Absolutely. Mr. E, Mr. E. What day is it today?
Today is Hump Day. That's what day it is.
That's a good hump day. You all should be up and popping.
Popping and up like popcorn.
It's the middle of the week, Mr. E. I still can't get over that hump day. That was a good one. But you all should be up and popping, middle of the week. I hope you're having a good day. It's beautiful here in the Hampton Roads area.
That's right. It's a beautiful day. It's almost going into fall. So if you need to get you a Claritin, get you a Claritin.
And I do, and that fan too. I need to make sure all that stuff is off because I tell you what, the season is here. Hay fever, allergies, all that good stuff. But you know what to do. But Mr. E, let's move on. We have a very special guest on our very special segment.
That's right.
What's under the hat?
Issues concerning men.
Issues concerning men. We talk about the men. We talk about the men on Wednesday.
That's right. We talk about the brotherhood on Wednesday because we want to help our brotherhood, our men, to rise above mere survival.
Absolutely. And we want to welcome our very special guest, Ahmad. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning. Good morning. Energy in the building.
Thank you, Ahmad. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I can't complain on the West Coast.
I love the West Coast. I tell you what, Ahmad, we're going to talk about something very serious. This is our part 2 of You Are Not the Father.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being able to come on and share with us because to my surprise, and not that I didn't know people men have gone through this, Ahmad, but for those that have gone through it and want to talk about it and share and tell what men can do to be safe and get themselves through the situation. I'm just pleasantly surprised that we have people like you that want to talk. Ahmad, can you share your story with us?
Hmm. All right. So, okay. So, yeah, men have been through a lot of things that not really talked about. But particularly my story, I've been in a situation where I was married, um, with children in that relationship. There were four, uh, age ranging from the ages of 20 and the oldest being 27. But the oldest and the youngest were the only ones that were actually my children. Uh, Outside of that, the two in the middle were not mine, and that was not discovered for numerous years.
Mm.
Absolutely. Tell us how it affected you when you did find out.
Wow. With any man that finds out that he is taking care of a child or fathering a child that is not biologically theirs and led to believe that it is their child, it's a crushing experience.
Absolutely.
It's something that you know, it knocks you off your feet, first and foremost, because you're dealing with a person that you trusted, that they would lie about something as serious as this. We're talking about a whole nother life here.
Yes.
So it definitely affects you in a very, very deep manner. It kind of, it can affect you mentally.
Absolutely. Can you tell us how you found
Well, a lot of men, um, believe it or not, have an intuition. Um, and that it's a little, you know, most of the time you hear women probably intuition and things of that nature. But men have intuition too. And if you listen to those, that little gut feeling, sometimes it'll lead you in the right direction.
out? Yes.
And it's just, I just asked one day. The numbers wasn't adding up, the time frames wasn't adding up, and it was just different past experiences that like had like big dollars. And a child, I mean, I'm sorry, a father knows. You know, you look at your child and you study your child from a baby and everything. Look at the facial features and things of that nature. And granted, you can have a child that does not resemble you at all and still be biologically yours, but there's still something that is just a gut feeling like something isn't right. And it's just unsettling. So I just had that conversation with her one day. Um, she finally, you know, confessed that, yeah, these two are yours.
Wow. 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 I am floored. I am stage shock, and I've never been like that before. But you had an intuition. You had an instinct. And when you begin to follow your instinct, like a lot of people follow, that they try to make like your instinct didn't matter.
Yeah. How did she react to your question? Because I can imagine if someone would come to me, my husband would come to me, I would kind of maybe freak out. What did she do uh, as a result of the question you asked or the discussion you had?
Well, I did say she finally confessed to it, but um, it wasn't the first time that I asked her.
Wow.
And it was just some of the dates that she had wasn't adding up because I was in the military at the time. So
Okay.
it was separation there during the time that conception could have transpired. So, um, well, her response, it took her a minute to really, just own up to it
Hmm.
and say that, yeah, these are yours. But it was, I guess she was kind of wanting to be a little bit more of a passive type of person because
Okay.
at the time I guess I was. I kind of let stuff go that I shouldn't. I seen warning signs that I didn't acknowledge and things of that nature.
Yes. Did you react differently to your children? Did you look at them and say, "Whoa, you're really not mine. I feel some kind of way toward you," or could you continue to embrace them as your children?
Um, I can't lie and say that I didn't look at them differently. Um, I still love them and things of that nature. And I know they had nothing to do with it at all, and I still open my arms up to them to this day. Um, but there was like a feeling of, okay, this is see. I know my kids had nothing to do with it and things of that nature. And I still look at them. I'm deeply concerned about their well being, and I open them up. I open my arms up to them like my biological
Yes,
children.
absolutely.
But at the same time, it's like, man, okay, but what about the real dad? That stuff comes to mind.
Yeah.
That nature. So it's all kind of stuff that comes to my head when it comes down to that.
When you found out, how many years were you in the game when you realized, or and what was your action after you found out the truth?
Well, yeah. So I was a good, I was a good 6 years in.
Wow.
Yes.
6 years in, and when I found out I was on my way to work, I was on my way to, I was in the army at the time, and I was on my way to formation, and when she, finally like admitted, like, yeah, these aren't yours. That question happened. The rest of the ride home, I mean, to the site was silent.
Wow.
Once I got there, I just let her know. I said, "Don't worry about coming back to pick me up
Hmm.
and everything." And I from then, I just formulated a plan. I knew I wasn't going back there right then and there because of the anger that was building up.
Yes.
So I had I didn't want to just react right then and there because at that time I had my the baby girl and my son, who really wasn't at the time my son. He was there,
Yes.
and the oldest people there. My youngest son wasn't quite yet born,
Yes.
but yeah, that right there kind of. I
Yes.
just needed time to clear my head to formulate a plan because I didn't want to do anything that would be detrimental to myself or her or anything. I know some
Absolutely.
people they can fire off.
Yes.
That sometimes that might have been a jail sentence.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. That is so
Absolutely.
true. That's right.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Go ahead.
So tell me, how did you have someone to talk to? Did you talk to your family, and what did they think after you shared it? Your mom and them. How did your family react?
Well, my father, my parents, and they are very supportive. My dad, my mom, and everything. I think that was like one of the realest conversations I had with my dad at the time. Me and him talk because I had requested to go on, like, I guess, emergency leave, so to speak,
Yes.
because my thing was I just I just needed some time to air out. So I talked with my dad for a while, and he was he was supportive. He said, "Whatever it is that you want to do, I support it. You got to make your own decisions of in life, but sometimes people show you exactly who they are at times.
Mhm.
You gotta just accept that.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean that you have to stop being a father to the children that don't have anything to do with it. But at the same time, that's a huge pill to swallow.
Wow. I want to thank you for your service, man. You did being in the army. I was army also, and so I want to say thank you for your service.
Yes.
But after you found out that was it after the third child, you had three children already there.
Mm-hmm.
Was it after the third child found out that the second two was not yours. And so did y'all go into divorce or separation, or did y'all try to make it work?
Yeah, what happened was it was a separation after that. She was already pregnant with the fourth at that time, and it was a separation um, that that transpired, and from then it was just I knew I wasn't gonna stay because this wasn't our first time being separated and dealing with some things. This wasn't the first time, but it was kind of the first. It was the first time dealing with something that in depth,
Yes.
where all of this came out, and yeah, I needed that time to clear my head. And of course, when my son was born, I really looked at him like, let me double check. and,
Did you request a DNA test?
All of them just to clear everything. So,
Yes.
Yeah, everything. So my oldest, I knew it was my oldest daughter, but
Wow.
yeah, and everything was pretty much validated.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you are. To this one, no, you are not. These two.
Wow, absolutely.
And you are the fourth
Now,
one.
so,
Yes.
Ahmad, let's talk about healing. This is what's under your hat, what's under the hat, issues concerning men. Tell us about how men can prevent this from happening, if possible, get over what's happened and heal.
That's a long process, and it varies with each person. Um, it all depends. Trying to prevent that from happening. Wow, that's that's sometimes it's life lessons because as Mr. E, as a man, I'm sure you understand. You may have had a male friend who you knew was in a relationship that may not have been good for him.
Yeah.
But regardless of how much you was like, look, that ain't a good look. That's not the person that you need to ride with or whatever. Despite that, that person still maintained that, and it wasn't until he or she, and I'm sure that you have had a young lady friend who has had situations too where they're in toxic relationships, but until that person opens their eyes to see that,
Yes.
okay, this person that I'm with isn't good for me. There's nothing you can do about it. You can
Yeah.
keep your
Yes.
head
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
In regards to healing,
Mhm.
counseling,
Wow.
that's one thing that I know growing up in my neighborhood, black community or whatever. One thing they would say is what goes on in the house stays in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what if you got a big elephant in the room and that everybody
Absolutely.
walks past and not dealing with? Um, and that's how a lot of generational curses thrive in families. But I don't believe that what goes in a house has to stay in a house.
Good.
And it depends on what we're talking about. But in this case and scenario, um, I think a man needs to have someone that he can trust
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Yes.
to get that out of him. Because when you internalize those those thoughts, those actions, those misfortunes, those uh, those deeds that cause you to look at yourself twice in the mirror, like, am I worth anything?
Mm.
Yes.
That's a slow slope going downhill, and it's kind of like to me, it's kind of like cancer because um, it's it you don't see a lot of the issues with cancer until it surfaces. And at that point, it's done everything that it needs to do.
Mhm.
And you're on your way out of here. That's why it's good to watch the signs and get those things taken care of.
Absolutely.
So counseling, I think, is a good way. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes. I want to know if you did share it with your children eventually. Was it in the house? You know, you made a statement of what happens in the house stays in the house. But did you share what happened in the house with those that you live with, your children and others?
So I looked at it like it's and this is how I look at it. It was getting to a point where the kids were getting kind of like, what's going on? Why is things being like they can feel there was a difference there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were like, what's going on? And it got to a point where and there were things being told where your father isn't doing this for you, isn't doing that for you, and everything. And I was paying child support, not for the two that weren't mine. That's one reason why I did the paternity test and everything. But I was paying child support, and at the same time, my kids was wondering why I wasn't doing anything, or why is it that this isn't going. And I still get from outside my pocket. I broke down and I explained to them, what transpired, but ultimately I was leaving that up to her because to me I felt like that was her responsibility to reveal her misdeeds to them because of that. But at the same time, I let them know, look, I'm still here for you, regardless of what's going on between me and your mother and everything. I'm still dad. I'm here if you need me. I open my doors up for you. If you want to come live with me, I'm good with that. But I was kind of leaving that up to her to kind of reveal those issues with it and everything. And as they got older and started to understand more questions came about. So.
What do you say to a man today who's dealing with those issues that they're not the father? And they're paying child support for somebody else's child, or they being the daddy of somebody else's child, and that really they in their bloodline. What would you say? Because there's an old slogan that says anybody can be a daddy, but can't know anybody be a mother. But what would you say to a man now who's gone to the left? His head has been taken off, his heart has been broken, and he's in a slump, and only thing he wants to do is hit the bottle, or take drugs. What would you say to them now?
Well, that right there, first of all, let me say this. Anybody that's being a father to anybody in today's time, I commend you first and foremost, because it's not enough of us stepping up. Yeah. And we're seeing that in the way that our young people are responding to respect and everything of adults and all that. I commend any father that's stepping up to take care of a child that isn't theirs. I wouldn't stop doing that because it's not the child's fault. It's not. The child is a product of what transpired. In regards to a person who is turning toward substance abuse to numb the pain, to mute those voices that's speaking out to you, or to try and drown out all those sorrows. Only thing you're doing to yourself is killing yourself slowly.
Yeah.
And it isn't doing yourself any good, and ultimately it's not doing the children any good at all. That right there is only a tool, a self-medication effort to try and alleviate pain that needs to be talked about. It needs to be brought out. The hardest thing to do, I like to use this analogy, and I think COVID kind of made people do this. It's hard to look into the mirror and see your true self, especially when it's kind of like looking into a shattered image of yourself, because you don't get a clear picture of who you are because of everything that's done to you mentally, not just in that situation of being deceived and everything, but through life, period. So when you face the truth and look at who you are, you got to start dealing with those things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it takes you going to talk to somebody to be like, hey, I need help, counseling. You need to try and find a friend, somebody that you can trust and confide in, who won't betray you. And that's hard to do.
That's right. That is so true.
It's hard to be transparent these days because everybody, like, they want to throw rocks at you or use that against you. And it doesn't make you less of a man if you go and seek help to better yourself. Yes. It makes you stronger because you're part of a link, and I guess I'm looking at this as a link in the chain. Like Dr. E, you reached out to me as another link, trying to help me out and everything, and in the essence, I'm helping you out with the talk show.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
have to lift each other one link at a time.
Yes.
And not talking about it and just drinking and try and take drugs or whatever to try and relieve that pain. When you sober up, guess what?
It's still there.
That's right. Absolutely.
And not only that, you got a hangover.
Yes, we say you still messed up. Ahmad, I have a question for you. You got to answer this one for me. What advice would you give women?
Say that again. One more time. I want to make sure I heard that one.
What advice would you give women? Now, you just gave men some good advice. What advice do you give women that put men in this predicament?
Okay. First and foremost, a child, you're dealing with a child. Okay? And a child is not a toy. It's not to be played with. Having a child is not cute. What I mean by that is it's a life right there. And they have feelings. A child has feelings. And when a child grows up thinking that one person is their father,
wow,
and then later in life finds out that that's not their father, that this person over here is, that could affect that.
Yes,
that's right.
How
yes.
would you feel if that was done to you? Second of all, and equally as important, a father is not a privilege. All right. His input in that child is just as important as your input. So you should consider all those things as well. I know things may not work out with you all or whatever, but don't deny that child knowing who their father is. Absolutely. Or time spent with that father.
Yes.
And if you have a situation where you doubt who the father of that child is, don't just be like, you know what, he a good person, so I'm just gonna let him be the father of the child or whatever, and not tell the real biological father who that father is. You're messing up two dudes' mindset, because the person that may have been the biological father to him, that might have been something that if he wasn't a good person, that might have helped him to become a better person.
Yes.
You know, he's deprived of a seed. You know, and then the person finding out that this child isn't mine, how you think he's gonna look at you and find out?
Absolutely.
You know, that's
yes. Thank you.
Men hurt whether y'all believe it or not.
That's right.
Ahmad, did you stay with your wife?
Say that again?
Did you stay with your wife? Are you all still together?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
I didn't. And it's because of man. And her name isn't known, so it's cool. It's because of the extent of that war.
Wow.
Yes.
It's one to have
one child.
It's one to have a child by somebody else that you don't know, but you're claiming to be the father. But when you cross that threshold of involving people that's within the inner circle, like best friends, that's a whole nother platform. Mm-hmm. And I hope y'all caught me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ahmad, we want to say thank you so much for being on, telling your story. Like I said, to my surprise, men want to talk about what's under their hat.
That's right.
And what's going on. Thank you so much. Any last words? We got about 1 minute. Anything you want to share?
Oh man, I enjoyed it. I thank you for having me on, and I hope some men are encouraged to look at themselves not being a bad person because of someone else's mistakes, and just be a man, talk about it, get help, counsel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, my friend, and have a wonderful day. And thank you for helping out the brotherhood.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for
Wow.
having me on.
You're welcome. You are not the father. You are not the father. We'll continue this. We'll have a part 3. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. Come on over here to social media if you can and share a little bit more with us. For the others that are listening, we'll see you on Friday.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. And our special guest has been Mr. Ahmad. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WPCE 1400, WGPL 1350, and 95.3 Joy. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
I love my days, so I like this music. Stay tuned once again.
I tell you what, you all are on and popping. Mr. E, we have Sheila Robbins on, Chris Hinton, Philip Plump. We have Desi Combs, Modell Lewis. We have Kobe Hurt. Kobe Hurt said he's ready to come back on, and it is football season. Kobe Hurt, yeah, you and Mr. E need to come on and start talking about your team. Kobe Hurt is a Washington fan. Mr. E is Dallas, and Lord, do they go blow to blow. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. What is under your hat? What is under the hat is deep. And I tell you what, I want to thank Ahmad, our special guest. This is part 2 of You Are Not the Father,
Yeah.
coming on and sharing his story with us. That is a hard situation.
That's right, Miss Hinton. And when you find out that you're somebody else's daddy, that somebody else, you've been taking care of somebody's child and never knew it. And then you find out, not one with Mr. Ahmad, but you got 4 babies. 2 of the babies are not yours. And then what got me was at the tail end of it, Miss Hinton. He said his best friend.
Oh my God. Oh my
And when
goodness.
you have friends and you got best friends and you confide in, sit at the same dining room table together and then find out that 2 of them children belongs to your best friend, that's one of the hurtingest things in the world. It's enough just to be taking care of somebody else's children that comes along with the package.
Absolutely.
But when you find out that those children have been hidden, the daddy has been hidden, and then your parents recognize that that's not your child, that don't have any traits, then you in the game for about 6 years and 7 years in the game of being married. Then all of a sudden you get that strong intuition. He said something that was so key, Miss Hinton, is that when you get that instinct.
Absolutely.
That
We've been hearing
instinct. Every time I hear somebody say that instinct, but when you hear that instinct and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, back up. Get off the pedal, because here's what's gonna happen. When you go to the table feeling that way, the hurt that they found out that you found out, because your instinct, they gonna rebel. They gonna go to the left. They gonna make up all the kind of excuses whatsoever to not even talk about the elephant in the room.
I tell you what, it is amazing. We've heard that in the other stories. My instinct, something told me.
Them instincts is something else.
He said, I look. It's just the connection, but also the timing, Mr. E.
That's right.
How he was saying, how can you be pregnant? I won't hear.
That's right.
So tell me the timeline. And so, it's a situation, but guess what, Mr. E? And I know you've talked about it with me before. Some men can stay in. Some men can stay in the marriage.
That's right.
Now, that's another situation that is seems very hard. It must be the grace of God that would allow a man to find out that his woman has been out, whatever, doing whatever, and get pregnant, hide the pregnancy
For
from him that
years.
he's for years, and then a man can forgive and stay.
And stay.
What's
I
that,
mean,
Miss
for,
E?
for years, that's got to be what I call agape love.
Ooh,
That's got to be
yes.
unconditional love. You know, that here you are in a relationship, you're married to this person, and, you know, then you find out that the children that you have are not yours.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's just like I want to ask a question to the ladies out there and those who are listening.
Mhm.
If the shoe was on the other foot, you know, because a lot of women have had men who had children out on the outside,
Yes.
you know, that wasn't there. That's another segment.
Yes.
So how would they feel if they found out that the husband has a child on the outside and not at home
Absolutely.
with him? You know, and there's being and they'd be doing it, and it's not one but two of the same children, and it's your husband's child. How would you feel? And the same way with the man. A man feels some kind of way because in his home, in his castle, he provides.
Yes,
he's secured. You know, he's a watchman over the souls of, and he, you know, he's a watchman. Then all of a sudden, in his cave that he has, in his where his surrounding, there's you know, two babies that's not his.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, we're going to continue this subject now, this topic. We're going to talk from the perspective of what men can do actually in situations according to the law. You know, our first guest, Mr. E, said that the Lord told him, you the husband, whether you the baby daddy or not, you the baby daddy, because you got to take care.
That's right. And took care for 18 years.
18 years.
And the thing about these two, it all happened because they was in the military. How
Absolutely.
is it that military persons, they come back and they find out different stuff?
Yes.
You know, military personnel, they go out here, protect the country. They play war games, and in the Army or Navy, then they come back out and they had to find out that you are not the father. Wow.
And so, you know, we're going to continue to address it. We're going to address it according to what the law says. And we're going to also bring someone here that can help men with these things that they're going through, whether it's counseling. We're going to try to get someone here that can talk to men about dealing with situations like this. Where do you go to get help? You know, the you know, victory or success stories that come along with a man healing and moving along. We're going to definitely have that. What did Mardell Lewis say?
Miss Mardell Lewis said it's very sad and it hurts when you find this out. Out this. I looked at partnering courts.
Oh, the paternity.
Yeah,
paternity court.
Yeah, and older people finding out they're not the father.
Wow.
I feel for them. Your way 25 years not knowing some of the, some due to be the father.
Well, I tell you what. Some people go to the grave and never disclose that the man is not their father.
How can you do that? How can you sit
now, Mr. E, I'm glad you asked that, because that's when you mentioned about another segment. And ladies, we're coming for you because we want to find out
how can you do it.
The thinking of a woman.
That's right.
That would do this to a man. I mean, come on now. The minute he he's rolling out, going overseas or whatever, and the other one is rolling in. But this is the thing, Mr. E. If you have somebody rolling in, why you not protecting yourself? Why you not preventing pregnancy? We've got to find out from women, what is your thinking?
And I'd like to know in their mindset. He just like one of our guests came here and talked with us. He said he felt that, and then he set up a trap. Set up a trap. See, men has and let's get back to that intuition. When you feel your instinct started kicking in, your instinct, but one thing about a man, and I'm learning this, that once your instinct kick in, you cannot put it in reverse. You got to go forward until you get results.
Wow.
A lot of people look at that man when he comes to and dialogue with you, he feels some kind of way. He, just like a hunter, a man is a provider, but he knows his surrounding, and he knows when the territory has been tampered with, has been in there. When the territory has been in there, it makes you feel off balance. You make you feel uncomfortable. So when you feel that way, it's nothing gonna stop him, and he don't mind you laying him out. He don't mind you fussing him out. He don't mind that you that he feel. That's the way he feels, and now he's trying to get it out of his system, whether he's right or he's wrong. He's got something in his system that he's trying to get out, that if he don't get it out, it's going to cause him to be sick. If he don't get it out, it's going to be a problem. He's going to be angry. He's going to be frustrated. He's not going to be able to communicate. He's going to shut down. He's going to shut down, and you wondering. And then when you find out the way he used to do things, he slowed down doing those things. He stopped, almost got into a screeching halt, because the honesty, the honesty that was in him has been void. He goes back and get into a bubble. He goes back and get into a shell, because guess what? He felt that kind of way. And then you say to him, as a woman, she says to him, "You don't trust me?" Even though he got a bad intuition, he got a bad feeling. But why not? He can't come and sit down and dialogue and talk and not feel, and not even have to go through whatever they're going through.
Mr. E, I don't think men, mostly all of them, can go along with the lie.
That's right.
They can't go. This is the thing. You, after having that happen, you can't expect the man to stay. Now, we know some stay, but you can't expect him. He can't go along with the lie. It hurts too bad.
That's
every
right.
time
It
he look
cuts.
at that child, every time he look at you, that face and that mind and that whole body probably begin to just quiver.
That's right.
Because it's betrayal. It's lying. It's distrust, and it's just a terrible animal that you would have to deal with. Now, listen to what he said, everybody. He said some men end up in jail.
That's
Why?
right.
Because
Drinking,
guess what?
yeah.
Because he's either killed, hurt, he's hurt that man, or he's hurt that woman. But listen to this. Some of them want to hurt the woman, the other man, and then they want to blow their heads off.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
People, that's the extreme that it goes to. Everybody's not able to walk away and say, well, look, in time I'll heal. Some of them are saying, I tell you what, I'm coming after you. I'm going to do a number on everything that's associated with this situation. And so that's why we're doing this segment. We want to make sure men understand that you're not the only one that have gone through this. There's other people, and they have survived. It hurts.
That's right.
The wound is probably still fresh, because as I heard him talk, it still sound like, woo, like this happened today. It happened a while back.
That's right. But when you got 4 babies, when you got babies and you trust folk, and then all of a sudden they got into your system, here you got a parameter. It's just like Jesus told the devil. It's just like God told the devil. He said, if you take that hedge of protection around him, I'll make him get you. It's just like when Eve began to talk to the adversary and to the devil. She didn't encounter a conversation with with Adam. She just went on there and allowed him to cross the line, allowed him to talk with her. See, so sometimes men, when we look at men now, Miss Hinton, when I see these brothers and all these men standing on the corner with these signs, and I want to know what happened.
Absolutely. And
why you got to?
yes.
Why you don't have a home? Why you don't live in an apartment? Why are And we said that it's just a game that folk is out there on the corner. But have you look at the conditions of the skin that they stand out there in the hot sun and in the elements, and they're out there begging and trying to get what they can get, and we just pass them by.
Absolutely. So what's under the hat? Just like Mr. E said, you see men in despair, you see them in jail, you see them on the corner. You don't know their story.
That's
It's
right.
deeper
That's
than
right.
what you think. And we've got to get out of this thing that a man doesn't have feelings, emotion, and he doesn't hurt. When you cut him, he don't hurt.
He bleeds
Some
too.
of these folk are there as a result of hurt, pain, and misery. And so we're digging deep. What's under your hat? Men, come forth. We want to talk about a whole lot of issues and things that you all have experienced. And again, ladies, we're coming for you because we want to know, and you can be incognito. You don't have to reveal your real name, but we want to know, why would you betray a man like that? Is it fear? Is it just
Support?
is it fear? Is it lack of morals? What is it? Is it you just made a mistake? We're going to find out from you why you would do a man. What's under the hat? Issues concerning men, but we're going to bring a young lady in the picture to kind of tell us her story and why she went that way in betraying her husband or her man. Thank you, Madele. She said, good show. I enjoyed it. Blessings to you both. Roberta, thank you. She says, great show. Thank you so much.
And when we look at this, Miss Hinton, I know we're getting ready to get out of here, but when we look at it, we find out there is, and there's so many men that's walking around in circles.
Absolutely.
And like they lost something.
Absolutely. So thank you, Ahmad. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for telling us what's under your hat, honey. And we will continue the segment. I won't be here on next Wednesday. We're going to plan something else. But the following Wednesday, we hope we can have somebody to talk to you about the law and the situation and some of the things men can do to become advocates and also prevent. Well, there's some ways you can prevent some of these things, and also for healing as well. Mr. E, woo! We got some great upcoming shows, but I want to mention that before we go out here real quick about our anti-bullying rally.
That's right.
October the 15th.
Save the date.
Our Community Against Bullying, a call to action now.
Yeah.
Now, if you all have joined us on Monday evenings at 6 o'clock, please, if you haven't joined us, we're talking about this issue, but we're talking about it. We're going deeper. We have guests coming on talking about what bullying is, harassment, abuse, and all that.
Right.
We're trying to get the word out that it's something that our community needs to come together and help eradicate, help resolve, help children survive, and not allow bullying and things like that to take a child and just cause them to be crushed, their spirits to be crushed, and they are not able to rise above or grow into their full potential. See, that's what we're talking about. We're not just talking about somebody picking on somebody. We're talking about children being stopped. They're adult. You got some children that were bullied and harassed as adults. They are really unproductive and not able to move on. And so we want to prevent that. Crystal Community Development Corporation, our mission is to develop young leaders. Now, I tell you one thing, we're not able to develop young leaders if it's so much bullying, harassment, hurt, pain, abuse, all that kind of stuff. They have to find places to go and heal. But we as an organization are trying to develop them while they're young so they can become all that God has for them to become. So our Community Against Bullying, a call to action now, takes place October the 15th, 2022 in Chesapeake, Virginia at 11 o'clock a.m. It's a Saturday. We want you all to be out there. There's going to be activities. There's going to be pizza and a dialogue, entertainment. We have special speakers. We have just a banner competition for our youth and our mentoring organization. Please, please, please have your youth come out. Please, 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 you all come out. Let's address this problem, because it's going to take all of us to resolve it.
That's at the New Galilee Baptist Church located on Military Highway in Chesapeake, Virginia. And it's at 11 o'clock a.m.
Yes.
on October the 15th. Just want to let you know also there is a petition that we have on our
Yes.
pages that you can be a participant in. All you have to do is take the step. Go to change.org and you will see bullying is right underneath your nose. And then all you got to do is take the steps. Take the steps. Open it up. Put your name down there and say, I'm with you all.
Yes.
Because I believe that that we need to make a change.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many people that can't come outside their doors.
Mhm.
There are so many people, and it's not
Yes.
just on the straight people. It's all over. It's on the LBG community. It's in the Black neighborhood. It's in the
Yes.
white neighborhood. It's with people that has autism. It's all over the whole wide world. So we want to do our part.
Absolutely.
We want to do our part, and we want to bring awareness to it so that you can go back and recognize and see how to handle and what to do if you see those things.
Absolutely. If you know youth that should be there, if you know youth groups and organizations that should be there, please let us know. Inbox us or go to our page and register those children. Let us know so we can make sure children get the information and the motivation and the inspiration from our community against bullying, a call to action now. We also need an account because we're doing Pizza in the Dialogue, which we need to know how much pizza and goodies they have for the children. Please, we need that count. We need you all to make sure you register your kids. Tell somebody. If you sit back and say, well, hey, that's for y'all young people or whatever, please tell somebody. Please invite somebody to what we're doing. Please don't sit back while this problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and don't try to do anything about it. It's our responsibility to come together and heal. The light of the earth, the salt of the earth, you have to be a preservative. That's your way of preserving the earth, by getting involved and helping those that are in the forefront, moving toward trying to resolve and do things for our community. Our children are our future. And so please don't sit back and just look and not get involved in some way or another. We need sponsors. If you want to sponsor the event, that's fine. If you want to be a part of our giveaways, Mr. E, for the youth, you can be a part of that as well. Please, Mr. E, tell them how important this is.
And don't forget that you can go on Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page, and FYI, and you can see the registration form there.
Yes.
Go there and register and let it go, and send it back to us. If you want to be a part, inbox us and let us know that you want to be a part. You want a registration form. Just go register, sign the petition, and meet us at New Galilee. That's October the 15th at 11 o'clock a.m. We got great sponsors.
Yes.
We got great banner competition.
Yes.
We're going to have pizza and a dialogue, special guests. You're going to learn a whole lot right there, because bullying is right underneath your nose. You don't think it is? Just look around, because there's so many seniors can't even go out there in the front yard and work in the yard anymore. There's so many folks that can't do what they want to do. Your children don't even want to go to school. They're being bullied because of the glasses that they wear, or they're being bullied because their mama has a learning disability. They're being bullied because they have a learning disability. So folks, and because they wearing holy socks, folks gonna laugh and they're gonna pick on you for such a long time. Don't forget to go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and register and take the petition and sign the petition and let us know you're standing with us. And don't forget to meet us at 11 o'clock at New Galilee on Military Highway in the city of Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yes, Reggie Rogers, I want to say hello. Reggie Rogers is a coach. We want our athletes to come out, our teenagers to be there. If you have a youth group that wants to participate in the banner competition, our first place prize is $150. Second place prize is $100, and third place prize is $75. We want you to make that banner. Come on out. Let's talk about bullying. Let's resolve this problem. Let's get our community right. We got a lot of shootings. We got a lot of gang activity. We want our children not to be in the midst of that, because guess what? They don't ask you, do you want to be in the game? They make sure you are jump in without your permission. And if you don't, a friend of mine's grandson was murdered as a result of saying no to a gang. This is a serious problem, and we would like for you all to participate. You can also get the book, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose. I wrote this book. I was inspired to write it because of the problems of bullying. You all can go online. The link is also on my page. You can Google it. You can go to the website, crystalrecords.com. And you can also be at the rally and get the hard copy.
That's right.
Please support. The money is definitely something that we are going to reinvest into our programs. We have young men and women achieving success. We have a scholarship fund that we need to make sure we have some moolah in that. And so we need you all to continue to help. Mr. E got some upcoming shows, and then we're going to get out of here.
Don't forget that coming up real soon, we got Miss Sherry Johnson, who's going to be our special guest. Mr. James Everett, who's an cheesehead Green Bay Packer fan.
Oh, man.
He's going to be with us on Monday. Miss Janet, I forgot her name. Janet. She'll secure the bag.
Yes,
Miss
Janice
will be our special guest.
Yes.
And Mr. Keon Wiggins on the flip will be with us on issues concerning men. So you don't want to miss these great shows that we bring in your way. And for more information, give us a call at 757-714-7861 or go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page, or you can go to FYI Live Radio Show Live at gmail.com.
Also, I will be coming to you all on Friday, not this Friday, but the following Friday via Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I will be on location there, Women Without Loose. I will be at that convention. And but in the morning, Mr. E, I will be on. We're going to go on, and we're going to talk about Women Without Loose. That's going to be our segment, What's in Your Closet, issues concerning our women. So that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time to, just highlight what's going on and share about the convention. You all be blessed. Mr. E, is there anything else that we can cover? The ladies' pie, look, is on and popping. You all better put those
right around
pre-orders.
the corner.
Absolutely. The ladies' music is online. You can be a host of your special event, a special occasion. And Mr. E's going to give you how you can be a special guest sponsor intern with FYI Radio Show and the anti-bullying movement.
All you got to do is pick up the telephone and give us a call at area code 757-714-7861, or you can inbox us at FYI Radio Show or Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Facebook page, or you can inbox, go to the website at www.christiancommunity.
You can go to crystalrecords.com.
crystalrecords.com
yes.
and inboxes and let us know. We got information all over the section, all over the network. On every social media page, we got information.
Yes.
Don't forget that coming up real soon, we'll be on 88.9 FM coming up real soon. I mean, less than 2-3 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll be hitting the airways. So you'll be able to hear us on 95.3, which is Joy, Peace. Which is Peace 95.3 and Joy 88.9 real soon at WPCE 1400, WGBL 1350, and on the World Wide Web and social media platform. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here in the WGPL 1350 studio.
Don't forget, if you want to volunteer with our movement, our community against bullying, those that are looking at our friends that share with us, if you all want to volunteer, just let me know. Let us know. We need hands. We need help. And we need to get butts in the seat. So if you all are working with a youth organization or church that their youth need to be out, please help us. Roberta, all you all, at least please pass the word. Get youth involved. Please get them out to our rally. Please help us. Please, we need your help. So I want to thank you all. Thank you, Ahmad, again for sharing. Thank you, Mr. E. Thank you, everybody that's on. God bless you. We're going to see you back here on Friday.
And thank you. 2 up, 2 down,
Yeah.
VA.